Claude Opus 4.8 with Ultracode is generating some of the strongest reactions we've seen from AI power users all year, with many claiming Anthropic may have taken the lead in AI coding. What's unusual is that people aren't talking about benchmark scores. They're talking about real projects. Developers are reporting that Claude can understand larger code bases, debug complex issues, and complete tasks that previously required multiple AI conversations. And that's why this story matters far beyond programming. The AI race is entering a new phase. The question is no longer which model scores slightly higher on a benchmark. The question is, which model can actually build useful things? For the past 2 years, OpenAI largely defined the public perception of AI. ChatGPT became the consumer giant. Google pushed Gemini into its ecosystem. Anthropic, meanwhile, quietly focused on reliability, reasoning, and coding. Now, Claude Opus 4.8 is changing that conversation. Across Reddit, Hacker News, and developer communities, users are describing it as one of the biggest practical jumps they've experienced in AI-assisted software development. The key word here is practical. AI companies love benchmarks, but businesses care about outcomes. Can the model understand a large project? Can it identify bugs? Can it make meaningful changes without breaking everything else? According to early reports, Opus 4.8 paired with Ultracode workflows performs especially well on long horizon tasks. These are projects that require maintaining context across many files, dependencies, and decisions. That may sound technical, but the business impact is simple. The more context an AI can keep in mind, the less time humans spend repeating themselves. And time is the most expensive resource in software development. This is where the competitive picture gets interesting. ChatGPT remains the dominant consumer AI product. OpenAI has the ecosystem, brand recognition, and enormous user base. But leadership in coding is becoming a separate battleground. Google's Gemini continues improving rapidly and benefits from deep integration with Google's products. But among many advanced developers, Claude is increasingly being viewed as the model to beat for software engineering tasks. What's fascinating is that this shift isn't being driven by advertising campaigns. It's being driven by users sharing project results. In technology, that's often where real market momentum begins. Another trend is emerging alongside this release. The gap between AI power users and ordinary users is getting wider. Some people are still asking chatbots basic questions. Others are effectively managing teams of AI agents. Claude's large context capabilities make that gap even more visible. Advanced users can feed enormous amounts of information into the model and get dramatically different results than someone having a simple chat. This may be one of the most important AI stories of the year because it signals a change in how we evaluate intelligence. The industry is moving away from benchmark obsession and toward task completion. Imagine two models. One scores slightly higher on a test. The other helps a startup launch a product 2 weeks faster. Increasingly, customers care about the second outcome. That shift benefits companies like Anthropic because their reputation is increasingly tied to real-world productivity. If businesses perceive Claude as delivering better outcomes, spending patterns could change. And we're already seeing signs of that. Enterprise buyers are paying close attention to coding performance because software development is one of the clearest ways AI can generate measurable return on investment.
Of course, there's an important caveat. Much of the excitement comes from highly engaged early adopters. AI history is full of products that looked revolutionary in week 1 and ordinary 6 months later.
That's why independent testing will matter. Community excitement is valuable, but repeatable results across thousands of users matter even more. Still, even the possibility that Anthropic has pulled ahead in coding changes the industry narrative. For years, many assumed OpenAI would dominate every category. That assumption now looks much less certain.
The broader implication affects everyone. Better coding AI means faster product launches, faster bug fixes, cheaper software development, and ultimately, faster innovation across entire industries.
Even if you've never written a line of code, the apps you use, the services you depend on, and the startups you discover may all arrive faster because of advances like this.
Looking ahead, watch 3 things. First, whether OpenAI responds with stronger coding-focused releases. Second, whether Google closes the gap with Gemini. Third, whether enterprise customers begin publicly shifting toward Claude.
Claude Opus 4.8 may not be the final winner of the AI race, but it represents something bigger than a model update. It signals that the battle for AI leadership is no longer about who has the most hype. It's about who can deliver the most useful work. And right now, Anthropic has everyone's attention.
Have you tried any of these tools or tricks? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this useful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.